welcome to another episode of Empowerment Through Encouragement. And I am super excited about what we are discussing over these last several weeks and the power that we have understanding and demystifying ADD, ADHD, and the power that we have over our life experiences. And what I want to say before I get too deep into this is that I'm your host, Stanley Dietrich, and you probably see my name down there, and my co-host, Dr. Mendy. And we're here to give you a snapshot and to give you tools to implement and to apply. And we're going to give you a head full of knowledge here, but knowledge is not power. That is a myth. Knowledge is not power, because if knowledge were power, we would have a bunch of superheroes running the streets and making the world a better place and not making chaos.
Right.
So when we have so much knowledge available to us, it's the application of that knowledge. And what we're here to do is just kind of break it down. And I think we may run into a part two just based on our prior conversation. So I'm going to stop talking for just a moment, let my battery wind back up. And Dr. Mendy, how are you today?
Good morning. Good morning. I am fantastic and I love these conversations. But one thing I wanted to mention is sometimes when we think about ADD, ADHD, we think towards children. But adults keep this, right? This is something not just for children, but this conversation is for adults as well. Like I mentioned previously, I have someone living in my household who is an adult with ADD. And so understanding all of this information is super helpful, not just for children, if you're raising children, but maybe for yourself. If you didn't take the ADD type test and you've always wondered if you had it, take that test. But also this conversation, again, is just not for children, just not for moms, but for everyone who feels like I need this additional help for my own life.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it, Mandy, is that ADD does not go away.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't wake up and all of a sudden you have ADD or ADHD, and then you graduate high school and you get your driver's license, and poof, yeah, it's gone. You don't grow out of it. And let me tell you, if you've been watching this broadcast for the last several weeks, you know that it doesn't go away. Okay, so if you haven't had your coffee yet this morning, get ready, because I'm coming right at you. All right. And I don't drink coffee. Coffee drinks me. And that's the truth of it. I don't need the caffeine to get me that boost. And it's harnessing that energy, and it's harnessing what the source of energy that I'm bringing in that makes the difference. And that's what we're going to focus on today. So, that's a fantastic point. And many people, I'll try to slow down here. Many people don't realize that they have maybe not been diagnosed with ADD.
Yeah.
And you took the test. There's a lot of science behind that. And when you understand, you demystify, and you take away the, that giant underneath your bed that's waiting to pounce on you, and you kind of take the fire out of the dragon.
Yeah, I think a lot of times just understanding like, oh, this is why I do the things that I do. This is why I wake up with super energy. This is why I have super energy at night. Like I said, I talked about my husband. He's like Energizer Bunny all day long and all night. But you know what? That's great for me. So understanding your strengths and how to make that work together in a relationship with those people in your lives, in your family, in your business is so key and so important. So I love how we're going to talk about this today, especially related to everything that we ingest that changes that in our lives, and just how to harness it a little bit better. Part of the key is just totally understanding. And then part of the key is like, how do I harness this now to make this work for me?
Yeah. And it's, and like you said, having the opposites. Okay. So when we learn to appreciate the strengths of others, And sometimes those strengths will annoy us to no end. Okay. But
Sometimes.
once we understand what that is,
Yes.
once we understand, then we go, oh, that's how they think.
Yeah.
That's why they do that. That's why I do that.
Yeah.
Because I think differently. I see the world in a different manner. And then, when we learn to appreciate the values that others bring us, because if the world was all like me, well, let me use another person example, because if the world was all like me, it would be a fantastic, outstanding, perfect place, right? Don't ask some.
There'd be a lot of action. There'd be a lot of things going on for sure.
Oh
Everybody
my
else.
God. You'd have your browser with 1,000 tabs opened up because you didn't want to miss anything. Okay.
Goodness.
All right. So enough of the vulnerability and the transparency on my own part. Let's get back to what we were talking about. So we are talking about the food factor with ADD and the ADHD. And I'm just gonna say this. You may not like what I'm going to present over the next week or two, but food has so much to do with not just our overall energy health, but our brain health.
Yeah.
Is so critical.
Yeah, I think we talked about before the gut brain connection and how vital that was, that your gut be healthy so
Yeah.
that your brain can be healthy. And one way that all of that stays healthy is by what you put into it.
Yeah. So garbage in,
Yeah.
garbage out. And this is the same principle, is if you're listening to garbage, it's going to produce garbage. Now, if you're eating garbage,
Yeah.
now guess what happens? You might be filling your stomach in capacity, but you're not giving it the nourishment, and you're diminishing what's happening. And that gut brain health issue is a big, big deal.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. And let's talk about the Yuka app. I actually saw that we were going to talk about that today, and I went
Yes.
and downloaded it on my phone because I think that might be something that's like so vital for everyone to understand what is actually going into your body and how nutritious is that for you. Now, you've used it extensively, so
Yeah.
talk a little bit about maybe the benefits of bringing that app into your life.
Okay, so this is a simple principle. So, and I think it's called yucca. And I like yucca because when I was doing several years ago, I also sold Tastefully Simple, and it was kind of like a, a bet, because I can sell just about anything. And I thought, I love food, I love cooking, and so anyway. But Yucca, Yuka,
Yeah.
it's a free app that you can download on your phone, Android or Apple. It doesn't matter. Yuka, and then what you do is you download that. It's free. Did I say that it was free?
Yes.
I am not an affiliate. Okay, I am just a beggar teaching other beggars where the bread is. Good sourdough bread, not that bad bread. Okay, so I want to clarify that. And you can scan the UPC symbol on the back of the label, and it will tell you what's in the product. It will tell you where it ranges from 0 to 100. And if you're down in the 30s, it's going to be a red symbol. And then you can click on it and you go, why is it red?
Yeah.
And it will tell you all of the hazardous products that are in that.
Yeah.
It will tell you low or moderate or high, as far as the contaminants.
Yeah.
And then it will also give you alternatives that
Wow.
you can substitute that with. So I'm a big salsa eater. I love eating salsa.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, the only chip that I could have was Tostitos. Well, it's a corn chip. It's made with, guess what? Corn oil.
Yeah.
And what is corn oil and what does corn have in it? glyphosate.
Yeah.
It's contamination. So a friend of mine said, I found your chip and it's made by Siete.
Yet.
And Siete, yes, the number 7 in
Wow.
Spanish, Siete. So you can get the Siete chip.
Yeah.
Now, it is made with cassava flour,
Yeah.
and it is 100% non-GMO, 100% plant-based, and it is delicious.
Wow.
And then, like, it only comes in a small bag, 5 ounce. But here's the thing: your cheapest food is your most expensive food.
Yeah.
Because if it's saturated with vegetable oils
Yep.
and corn and soy, and I'm just going to say, tell you, it is not doing your body any good.
Yeah.
And if you want to have a higher quality of life, bring in higher quality foods. And this is so prevalent for those that are dealing with ADD and ADHD.
Yeah.
It is, there's those markers that it's, what's good for these people
Yeah.
is super good for a person that has ADD or ADHD.
Yeah.
Because this category, people that don't deal with this experience, okay, they could probably get by the marker and not notice it mentally.
Yeah.
But now you've got another experience that you're adding on top of all the things that are going on at work, all the things that are going on with, you got a new puppy. I can only bet that it's not just roses and laughter and, it's that who's going to clean this one up?
Yeah.
It's your turn, you know? And it's those elements.
Yeah.
Now you add that, compile that, and now you've got ADD or ADHD, and your medicine is not really working in the way that they prescribe it, because it could be prescribed for the wrong type of ADD. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that's a fact. Now we've got our issue exacerbated.
Yeah.
And then now we got a big, oh, what? Now
Yeah.
what?
Exactly.
So, yeah, the app is amazing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, that's really good. And I know we're going to talk about specifically some of the types of foods to eat today, but I also wanted to say, like, this is actually good for stress eaters. So in my family, we're big stress eaters. If we've had a super stressful day at work, it's a gallon of ice cream that solves that problem, right? Which is really not good for you at all. But that stress eating, like you say, when you compound the stress in your life, you add in all these other things, that also it's managing your mind to be able to handle the stressors and still eat the right foods in spite of all of that as well. So there's some discipline that goes along with this as far as like habit building some of these things. I know we're going to talk about the sugar drinks. You and I were both raised on Kool-Aid, which was a sugary drink, right? And the teachers thought my brother had ADD, but that's because he was hyped up on Kool-Aid before he went to school in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they switched him to coffee, which was a caffeine, which brought him back down to where he could sit in his seat. But a lot of that at that particular time, they had ads on TV, ads everywhere that said sugar's good for you, the next best thing. So
Right.
the things that we're told in society, like, let's really do our homework. Let's expose the myths or the ideas that are maybe not the best for our body. So I know we are going to talk about juices, but when I was raising my kids, the doctors would tell you that they should get this much juice every day. I can't remember what it was, 6 ounces, 8 ounces. But, I remember my kids throwing up that juice a lot of the time just because it was too much for their bodies to handle. But we didn't know that because we were told by the experts,
Yep.
this is the great thing for you. Well, nowadays, the experts tell parents, don't give your kids those high sugary juices. So interesting how the message changed. So let's find out the real truth.
So you are so on track there, because you can read the labels, and the ADA, okay, the American Heart Association, works with the pharmaceutical companies. Okay, they want to keep you sick. I'm just going to tell you, you don't have to believe me. Do your research. And when you realize this, when you understand that just because it has a backing, just because it says 100% from 100% concentrate, well, it may be from 100% concentrate, but there's only that much concentrate in it. Okay, and there's 72 ounces, and
Yeah.
there's that much concentrate. Yeah, it's that much. It's made from concentrate, but how much sugar is in there to make it taste better?
Yeah,
If you're
exactly.
buying, and trust me, the idea here is to give you this information, so now that you can go, I didn't know that I didn't know. Now what will I do with it?
Yeah.
Knowledge, just this communication, is not power. It's the application of it. So when we're looking at what our children are drinking, I used to dip my peanut butter and jelly sandwich into Kool-Aid. Okay. I thought that was a delicacy, right?
And let's not even talk about how much sugar is in jelly. Woo!
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it is the calories that we're bringing into the body.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't drink your calories. Your brain takes 25 to 35% of the calories that you intake every day. Now, don't drink those calories. Don't drink the pops. And
Yeah.
there was a study that was shown that a Diet Coke actually did more damage to the body than a regular Coke. Now, I'm not a proponent of Coke or Pepsi or any of the soft drinks, because they're full of sugar,
Yeah.
and they're giving you that high, that quick fix, but
Yeah.
it gives you a big quick crash.
Yeah.
And same way with coffee. You get dependent on it.
Yeah.
And I know there's somebody that's going to listen to this and say, I'm not going to listen to this because I need my coffee. No, that's what your body's telling you, because you've trained it. It's a program.
Yeah.
And as you start to clean your body and you start to get clean calories and carbohydrates into your body and clean protein, now
Yeah.
you have more energy. And your brain is the CEO of your entire life.
Yeah.
You know,
So let's talk about that. Like, let's just give an example then. What does a good day of protein for your brain look like? What does that start out with in the morning? What does that look like at lunch? Because I really had to think about some of these things to incorporate these habits into my life. So let's just start with breakfast. What should we be eating for breakfast that's a good, healthy, brain protein focused breakfast?
well, I like to have my protein later on for dinner. Uh, Proteins like chicken breast,
Yeah.
organic,
Yeah.
uh, uh, not grain fed, not hormone filled.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of salmon. I've got salmon in my refrigerator probably 5 days a week. And then I have chicken. Turkey is another great protein that you can be bringing in. Um, uh, Oatmeal. You
Yeah.
can have oatmeal. Now, I want to say get a gluten-free and also a non-GMO. And you can get that. Now, you're not going to get it from Quaker. Quaker's not going to have that.
Yeah.
It's going to have glyphosate in it. It's going to be fields that are sprayed with pesticides. But you can buy this. It's not that much more.
Yeah.
A single visit to a doctor, just a 5-minute visit, it's $180.
Yeah.
Okay, and you get to see the doctor just a few moments, but you get to see his assistant for the other 4.5 minutes, and then you walk out with $180 bill,
Right.
and they tell you, hey, everything is okay. Well, I don't want an okay relationship.
Yeah.
Can you imagine saying, so how's your relationship with the person that you just have given your life to? And you said, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a relationship with the most valuable component between our ears. And if
Yeah.
it's only okay, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I love that. So starting the day with protein is great. And I'm not one to eat a lot at breakfast either. I kind of like to wait until a little bit later in the day. But I think everyone is different. Everyone has the way that they need to make their life work. So even as we're making suggestions, like you have to find it for you and what makes it work effectively for you. And by the way, we had the best halibut last night. Like we do have a lot of fish, and I think that's probably one of the best ways that we can eat too is fish. We had halibut, broccolini, very good, very clean. But just again, training yourself to eat the bring in that if my mom was listening to this program, she would be like turning it off too because she's like, I cannot do any of that. I just can't do it. I don't like it. I'm not going to force myself to eat something that I don't like. So, baby steps. Find
Yes.
something that you do like and start there. Because I think a lot of the pushback on, when we're talking about organic foods, at one period in time, they just didn't taste good. Nowadays, I think it's progressed a long way, but just start with baby steps. That's what I had to do. I mean, I had to just take it one small step at a time. And I'll tell you, I was addicted to Diet Coke. So I had to break that. I broke that probably about 15 years ago off of my life. Made a huge difference in my complexion, in the way I felt, the way my joints felt. So it does make a difference. But again, one baby step. And that was probably a goal of mine for probably 3 to 6 months of my life, just trying to get that broken out of my life. So small baby steps, and it's going to take time, and that's totally okay.
Yeah. Eggs are another fantastic way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eggs are
Starting your day
fantastic.
with eggs. And maybe next week I'll bring some recipes and give some ideas. I saw one where and it was on TikTok. It was a lady that put 2 bananas and organic flour, and I can't remember all that was in it, but I watched it and I took a screenshot of it. So I didn't want to confuse anything today, but it is delicious the way and it makes pancakes.
Wow. That's awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's got blueberries in it. Blueberries are another thing that you can start your day with because
Yeah.
it's an antioxidant and it also cleans your brain.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
good. Yeah. Absolutely. And again, I just want to go back to I went to the doctor about 8 months ago. My cholesterol was up a little bit, and he said, I want you to eat a Mediterranean diet. I went and researched the Mediterranean diet. I couldn't find one thing on that Mediterranean diet that I like to eat, and so I can't stick to something that I don't like, you know?
right.
So, but keto seems to work to me. The mindset of keto seems to work a little bit well. Again, some berries in the morning, the egg, the protein in the vegetables. That really fits my lifestyle and my food choices a little bit better. So I encourage you, like you said, go find the TikTok recipes.
Yeah.
That feed your brain well, that you actually like and enjoy.
Yeah. The thing of it is, Mindy, is that so much of our taste buds have been programmed.
Yeah.
So if you were to give me chocolate when I was a kid, okay, even as an adult, I'm going to be honest with you. I used to eat 8 candy bars a day when I worked construction. Yeah, 8 candy bars a day, and I drink 2 gallons of Gatorade. Okay,
Yeah.
I was fueling, and I snapped.
Yeah.
I snapped to the idea that, hey, what is it that I'm putting into my body?
Yeah.
You know, I used to say that milk chocolate ran through my veins. If you were going to take a blood sample of me, it was going to be milk chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And, you know, I kind of laugh about it, but I'm being transparent. I'm being honest. I'm being vulnerable here.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no judgment, but my
Mhm.
taste buds. Now, when it came to food, I ate very healthy when I'd eat. You
Yeah.
know, it was high quality chicken, high quality steak, high quality fish. Um, I ate I ate a lot of fruit, but here again, the content of sugar in the fruit. If it's imbalanced, now you're going to have an issue. You're going to be exacerbating. And this is probably why I was so strung out. Like people just said, like, you make the Energizer Bunny look like he's on vacation, you know? And my workers would try to keep up with me and they try to go without eating lunch. And I'm like, don't be like me. Okay. You do you, I'm going to be me.
Yeah.
And this is how I operate.
Yeah.
And the idea and understanding the time of day that I was eating. So I was eating late.
Yeah.
And if you eat your proteins late, so let's say you have a nice slap of chicken
Yeah.
late at night, or a nice healthy piece of salmon late at night, and you're not getting to sleep, it's because your body is now energized
Yeah.
and you're waking up. So you can
Yeah.
go to sleep real quick and then you wake up in the middle of the night and you're going, what is the deal? Well, that protein is what's giving your body the energy, and it's saying, hey, wake up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, it's getting those quality products into our body. I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I did, but I'm going to backtrack. There was a 2017 study that showed that average Americans consume 485 calories in their beverage
Yeah.
a day.
That's crazy. Yeah, you gotta watch those drinks. I tell you, they will really do
Yeah,
they'll damage you for sure.
yeah,
Definitely look at that first. If you're having a lot of, drinks, from somewhere, "Oh, I gotta s" it's so easy to do. "I'm gonna stop by Dunkin' Donuts." Oh my gosh, I don't know if you like the calories on the menu, but oof. Yeah,
yeah,
don't stop there too often.
yeah.
But really watch what you're bringing in. The other thing is yeah.
Water, 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 high quality water, living water. Make sure you know what's in your water and drink it up because it flushes the contaminants that collect in the brain.
So true. Should be doing at least 66 ounces. That's what I do a day. That's my goal for the day, 66 ounces of water. Some days I don't make it just because we're going, going, going. That's okay. You get up the next day, you reset yourself. Okay, 66 ounces today. Let's go. So yeah. Also, I've seen a lot of posts and things on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram about eating the rainbow. Talk to me a little bit about that. What does that mean? Eat the rainbow.
Okay, so this does not mean Skittles.
Yeah.
Okay, Skittles is the most contaminated. It's not. I don't. It's not even in the food category. Just. I'm just putting that out there. Okay, it is not food. It is poison that has a whole lot of contaminated sugar in it. Okay, it's just not even food. But eating from the rainbow is, let's just say, the color red. Okay, what can you eat that's red? You can eat raspberries. You
Yeah.
can eat strawberries. You can eat um, pomegranate.
Yeah.
Okay, yellow. You can eat a banana. You can eat zucchini squash. You can eat spaghetti squash.
Yeah.
A green. You can have celery,
Yeah.
cucumbers, onions,
Yeah.
broccoli.
Yeah.
Okay? White, you can have cauliflower,
Yeah.
mushrooms. You know, do you know that a single serving of a mushroom decreases the risk of breast cancer in women if they would have a mushroom every single day?
Wow.
It's astronomical
Yeah.
percentage that it decreases
Yeah.
of the chance or the effect of those cancer cells in our body. Now,
Yeah. And Yeah. Well, I just want to comment on that real quick because I think the American mindset has been I could have this big bunch of food, but it is like little tiny
Yeah.
qualities. And I think you see that both you and I do planting and gardening, but I think you see that if you garden, like God, it really wasn't intended that our bodies overmass on food, right?
Right.
Like a few blueberries come ripe. Like I brought a handful of strawberries in from the garden yesterday. That was my portion for the day.
Oh,
It
yeah.
might have been 6 to 8 blueberries, but you know what? Doing that consistently every day, that teeny tiny amount, that one mushroom, those few berries, that is cleansing and resetting your body. So don't think I got to go have this big bowl of mushrooms or this big bowl of blueberries. It's not like that, really.
Right. Right. I went and we have a farm that grows strawberries and you can go and pick and they give you a basket. They give you a basket for a reason, right? And I just got so entranced into what I'm doing and I'm looking at these and I'm sampling a couple right there. They got sandy dirt on them. Man, they were so delicious. I ended up picking 14 pounds of strawberries. Okay. So I have a freezer full of strawberries that are fresh, and they're the right size. Okay.
Yeah.
They're this big. That
Yeah.
is a natural strawberry. If your
Right.
strawberries are this big, they're grown in a greenhouse and it's probably got some stuff on it.
Yeah.
That's why strawberries end up on the dirty list year after year after year. So,
That's another good point is the good fruits and vegetables, you can taste a difference in
yeah,
the things that are being made versus the things that are being grown
right.
um, from our local farmers and stuff. So huge shout out to our local farmers. Yes, go and support them. You will taste the difference in your food.
Yeah. And that's it. When our taste buds get acclimated to something that is not healthy for us, we continue to go down that. And when they get acclimated to the things that are healthy for us, we
Yeah.
end up going down that road.
Yeah.
The road comes to a Y, and we have a decision that we can make. And when the commercials say that Doritos, you can't stop at one. You know why? Because they coat it with a chemical that is addictive, that makes you hunger and crave more.
I
They don't
know.
satisfy.
Yeah, I had my own addiction with Doritos and Cheetos, and that was another one I had to break because I'm a huge chip person too. I love chips and dip, and so yeah, that's it. It is a big addiction. It loaded with things that are not good for your body at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's incorporating the different foods and do it gradually and go,
yeah,
what else could there be?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so good. Such a great conversation. But again, I just encourage folks, I guess, just one thing at a time. Like I
Yeah.
had a baked Cheetos addiction too. Like you listen, I'm revealing all my addictions today, right? I still love baked Cheetos, but man, I have to be really careful. Like I try not to keep it in the house. I know it's probably one of the healthier alternatives, but it's still super, super bad for you.
It is. It is.
And
And yeah. Are my fingers still orange
I know.
from years ago that
Right, exactly. So, not even picking those products up is a good thing. But again, one day at a time, one step at a time.
You've asked me on a couple different times, how do I start my day? And when I start my day with a food, I get a good quality sourdough bread. And then
Yeah.
I take an avocado. I actually take 2 avocados and I mash them up. And then I throw honey. There's a local honey place here, not from kind of in a plastic bottle at the store.
Yeah.
Okay. Because a lot of that has been stripped of its properties.
Yeah.
I have a local honey, local beekeeper, and I go and I buy a quart for $22. And I take that honey and I put it in my avocado and I mash it up. And then I spread that on my sourdough bread. And
Wow.
that is what I'm giving my brain healthy fats.
Yeah.
I'm getting a natural type sweetener,
Yeah.
honey, which is
Yeah.
good also for the brain. It gives it that energy. And sourdough bread is just delicious, and it is good for you. So, you can make eating fun. It's not rigid. Please don't misconstrue what we're communicating here.
Yeah.
What we're presenting is the higher quality of life. And
Yeah.
where does that start? By the way that we think. And we can't think at a higher quality unless we're feeding that fuel, giving that fuel of a higher quality.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Water's cheaper than gas, but go put water in your gas tank and see how far you go.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
very far.
No, not very far. Yeah. Yeah. Great conversation. So good. Yeah, absolutely. So many, many great points. A lot to think about today, even in my own life. Like sourdough bread's one of the things that I want to start making. So just what are those things that you can incorporate, I can incorporate that will just take me one little step further
One
towards
step.
making me healthier.
Yeah. Yeah. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
Yeah.
And, don't go and shock your body and shock your family. And, but here's a recommendation. If you've got crap that's in your pantry, don't replace it. Okay. Once it's out, don't replace it. Don't put it back in there. Know what you're putting into your body, because I guarantee you that just because your kid likes it, they only like it because you've introduced them to it, and you were introduced to it by some false label. Don't allow the false labels to now control your life any longer.
Yeah.
And we're giving you a snapshot in this on these episodes, and there's so much that we both wanted to bring today, for the sake of time and for the sake of application. Get the Yucca app and
Yeah.
and just do some, and come back next week. And we'd love for you to put your comments in. If you're watching this, if you're watching the replay on this, like and subscribe, send this to somebody, put a comment in there, ask your questions. And you can also reach out to me. You can see my website is on here. You can reach out to me if you've got a personal question. You want to be under the radar. You want to have that anonymous. Okay.
Yeah.
Send me a message.
Yeah.
And if you want to know more, if you want to go deeper, if you want to get a specific plan, Dr. Mendy and both are doing individual things and together to help empower people through encouragement and simple steps. It's easy, but it's not simple. And so what we do is we break it down and make those steps simple.
Yeah.
Small hinges move massive doors. So what can you do today that could be one small thing that can move a door and open it and get you over the threshold? And that's what our desire and our goal is as we do these talks.
Yep, absolutely. Great conversation. I look forward to next week. Maybe we can get more into the specifics of some of the types of food, maybe the best times to eat. I know that's something that we're working on as a family as we eat late at night, which, as you indicated, is not really great for you. So let's talk about maybe what are the right times of day to really fuel our bodies so they're operating at their best. So great conversation. I know we're talking to you. I'm actually talking to myself.
Yes,
so
me too.
I'm again just soaking all this up so that I can be better and go further. So thank you for the conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next week. And in between, have an outstanding week, and we'll talk to you soon.